Week number 3, free credit reports. So we're getting a little bit of a late start today. I apologize. Let me jump over into the Zoom meeting. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Money Study Group, and the meeting is live. I'm sorry, folks, a couple of minutes late today. I was a couple of minutes late. Had a little technical, had to reboot. Anyway, here we are. I'm admitting everyone into the Zoom meeting. Welcome aboard. We're going to talk about free credit reports. I'm going to review this week's comments that you left last week related to emergency fund. So that's what we'll do today. I will review the assignment. This week's assignment is pretty straightforward. You're going to go get a free credit report. I'm going to show you how to do that in your Blackboard assignment, which has been kind of replicated today here for this Zoom meeting. So that's what we're going to do today for the next few minutes, is just review this week's assignment. You're going to get a free credit report. You're going to learn about credit reports, what's in a credit report. And the first thing I want you to just know is that there's a big difference between a credit report and a credit score. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get in. Thank you guys for posting your time of arrival, that you're here. Thank you very much for that. Looking at your comments, so if you have any questions you want to post, go ahead and do that now in the chat, and I will be happy to get to those either before we jump into today's lecture or at the end. So thanks again for being here. If you're not in the Zoom meeting, if you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, feel free to pop in a comment anytime. I read all those comments. And so the time of no, you do not need to do that, Mercy. Good question, though. I appreciate that. I just like to have a record in case I get audited. This class is obviously at the University of Houston, the BayRock College of Business, and this is just one of my requirements to keep track of how often I interact with you guys. So every time you leave a comment online or in the Zoom meeting, you basically help me keep an audit trail. So bureaucracy, you gotta love it. Anyway, thank you. That was a good question. So today, again, we're going to talk about credit reports, and I'm about to close out the new admits. So if you come to the Zoom after in about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, you will not be admitted. So again, remember, I'm sorry I was a little bit late today, but if you're 5 minutes late, just go ahead and watch it on YouTube or Facebook. I'm assuming everybody see a follow-up to your question, so I'm assuming you can hear me. If somebody could just pop in a little message to let me know you're hearing me. Okay, thank you. Yes, okay, I see that. Thank you. Okay, so let's jump into today's review of your lesson. You guys are doing a great job in your assignments. Fantastic. Love the titles you're giving me, the time and effort that you're taking to create really good looking formatted articles. And so just so you know, one of the major objectives in teaching, and so you may wonder, why does this guy make me format my articles and make them look good? And really the point is to make them doing a fantastic job. And trust me, just like I wish someone would have taught me how to type in college. I didn't learn how to type until I got way out of college and started in a professional career, and I was hamstrung because I did not know how to type. Now today you don't really need to know how to type because you can use Siri. Oh, I hope I'm going to turn my phone off, because every time I say that word, you know what happens. All my devices start to pop up, and yeah, anyway. Resource in college, we typed, and I had to pay somebody to type all my papers. So it was 100 years ago. Today it's very different. But you need to know, writing with a well-formatted article is a great thing to know how to do. So that's free. You're getting to learn how to do some amazing communication skills as part of your personal finance course. Who da thunk it? So that's why we do that. That's why it's so. Let's jump into the free credit report. I wanted to show you an example of an assignment, because this really is a super easy assignment. It's to go online. The link is in the assignment to get your free credit report. I want you to review it. I don't really care to see your credit report. You're welcome. It's easier for you, just grab the PDF. But it's really not for me to view, it's for you to view, for you to review, to look at, and then you're going to give me some comments and tell me what you saw on your credit report. So it's a great assignment, your credit college, because does anybody want to post the answer to that question? Why is it especially important for you as a college student, this free credit report resource, to check your credit report? Now, you're going to learn about this week. This part of your assignment is to learn about credit bureaus, and so you're going to learn some of the basic information related to credit reports and credit scores, and so you're going to learn a little bit about that this week. But I'm curious if any of you know just your credit report before I jump into today's chat. I don't see any comments, but if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, then please leave a comment. Let me know that you're thinking about that, and not only that you're thinking about it, but what are you thinking at this point in today's lesson? Why does it even matter if you use this resource to get a free credit report? Which, by the way, there are 3 credit reporting bureaus. You can get a free credit report every year from each one of those. That's 3 free credit reports every year. That's a little overkill, but certainly 1 or 2 comments were because as soon as you get out of college, you need credit for everything. So that's one reason. But I would say that what you're commenting on is really a credit score. So it's a good thing to have a good, healthy credit score. Your credit score tells the creditors how capable you are of repaying your credit. So the credit score, that's like, how do love credit score? It's really not for you, your credit score. It's for them. It's for the creditors, the credit card companies, the people that want to loan you money so that they can you. And so your question or your comment here, Harsh, is really more about credit score. Why does it make sense for you to be even concerned about keeping good credit? And the answer is because, everything, you're going to need credit for a lot of things like apartment. So your credit score is hugely important, but that's different than a credit report. So why is it important for you to check in and see what's actually on your credit report? That's the question. So Matthew says credit helps buying cars. Thank you, Matthew, but that again is more like what Harsh was saying. So you can purchase a house. Yes, Tanya, that's correct. Elizabeth says because we can use student loan to boost our credit score. That's true too. Any credit that you have will boost your credit score as long as you manage your credit commitments well. And so you're going to learn about that this week, about how it's measured. But again, those are all related to your credit score. And I can tell you guys are all not a bad thing. It may be not a great thing, because like Dave Ramsey says, it's an I love credit score. And if you're a creditor, they love so that they can protect themselves, so that they can make more money. But your credit report is different. Your credit report is packed with data that shows you all of the information that they have about you. And so it's a valuable tool for you to go in your credit report. And as a college student, you're especially a big target for credit abuse or credit fraud. And so your credit report activity related to your credit, and sometimes some of the activity that's shown on your credit report, the activity that's reflected on your credit report is sometimes inaccurate, because sometimes somebody hacked your account. And so that's one reason, I think a very important reason, maybe the most important reason for you to do a free credit report every year, at least once a year. And again, you can do 3 of them. There's 3 different bureaus that you can use to get a free credit report. So you could space that out over the year and get 3 over the years. So let's see. Interest rates, Fernanda, interest rates, yeah, but again, good credit score is going to make it more likely that you're going to get a good interest rate. So that's a good thing. Managing your credit is a good thing. But again, I'm asking a question about why a credit. So how many of you, have any of you gotten a free credit report? That's a good question, easy to answer. It's a yes or no. Have you ever received, applied for a free credit report? Yes or no? So let's see. Mercy says it's because most students have student loans, so they're already starting in debt, and having the credit report helps in knowing where you stand financially outside of college. That's kind of true, yes, but again, mostly the credit report is going to just give you a bunch of data. It's going to give you activity, and that's what you're looking for in your credit report. So if you have anything on your credit report that tells you that, hey, you've got a problem, you've got late payments, you've got outstanding, whatever, any bad hits on your credit report will tell you, obviously, that that's going to affect your credit score. And so now you have the information to go do some work on getting that information either corrected or actually doing something to get that improved. So that's good. Identity theft, Elizabeth, that's right. That's a big thing. So if you follow Dave Ramsey, one of the things that he sells, and that's why he talks about it a lot, is insurance for identity theft. And I'm not saying that's a terrible idea, but it's not nearly as effective as just good, proactive checking your credit report, changing your passwords, using good encrypted passwords, updating your software on all of your devices. These are the things that today in 2021 are the most effective ways to battle identity theft and fraud and identity theft. So Harsh asked the question, does looking at your credit report affect your credit score? No, it does not. So I'm seeing answers to the question, have you ever gotten a credit report? I see no yeses and a bunch of no's. And so again, answer that question if you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Just post a little comment there as we're going through today. Or if you're watching this at 2 o'clock in the morning, go ahead and just post a comment, post multiple comments. I'll see all of them. Anyway, so that's why this assignment is part of this course, is because most of you, in my experience, have not ever applied for a free credit report. So you're going to do that this week. Okay, so that's what this assignment is. Free credit report, it's your assignment. And here I want to cover, I am being invaded by ants. I know you can't see that, but I'm a little distracted because all of a sudden in the last week or so here at the University of Houston at the Technology Bridge, we seem to be invaded by ants, and they're here. Sorry about that. So what I want to do now for the next couple of minutes is just talk about your class collaboration, class participation, this week's assignment. So this week I want you to tell me, last week I told you that you're going to have an assignment at the end of October to track your spending for 60 days, which obviously that assignment that's coming up requires you to start tracking your expenses. Like last week, I made that assignment to you. So this week, what I want you to do is tell me, what have you decided to use as your app or the tool that you're going to use to track your spending? Okay, so there is no excuse when this assignment comes due if you didn't track your spending, if you can't show me the data. then I'm going to give you 0 points. So you want to start tracking your spending now. The question in class collaboration is, what tool, what app are you going to use? The number one most popular over the years has been mint.com. And if you don't know about mint.com, I think I left, yes, there's a link. That is a link to mint.com. If you go to that link, it will tell you what it is, how it works, and you can download the app, and it's very user-friendly, very easy. It's not really a problem, but the drawback to mint.com is, while it is secure, it uses the same bank-level encryption that other aggregators use. That's what it's called when you can aggregate all of your accounts into one place. Mint.com is great because it uses really good bank-level encryption security. But the problem is it gets you tons and tons of ads, because how they fund it, how they pay for it, is through people trying to sell you stuff. So it's a great app. It's a fantastic app. Another one that I like to recommend, obviously your bank, that's probably really the number one most popular way to track your spending, is using your bank app, because you're already using either your bank credit card or your bank debit card, and so that just makes it super easy. All you got to do is download their app, open it up, and you see every transaction, everything you've spent to the penny, and it's super easy. So the thing is, though, with Mint, that's one app, and there's like half a dozen big bank apps. So when bank app is a big category, and so mint.com probably is the most popular single app ever in this course anyway. The other one that I want to mention is, as you know, you've been given access to the BayRock RightCapital planning portal. And that portal includes a tool just like mint.com without the ads. And it's integrated into your financial plan. So when you do your capstone, it should make it very easy. It does come with a mobile app. It's super clean, super cool, and I'm pretty proud of it. But I hear you. I know some of you say, oh, I don't trust that website. Well, that's cool. Do whatever you want to do. Mint.com or RightCapital, same bank level encryption. Your bank's app, you have the same issues with, if somebody's going to do a cyber attack on an institution, they're probably going to pick a big institution versus a small one. But I get it. If you're concerned about privacy, you get to make that decision. You're not required to use any specific app, but you are required to track your spending to the penny for 60 days. So this week's class collaboration, you're going to tell me, what are you going to use? I've had some students every single semester tell me they're going to use Excel. And I'm like, that is not a good idea, because with Excel, it's like you have to take every transaction and enter it. And yeah, right, you're not going to do that. And so, look, do whatever you want to do to track your spending for 60 days. But if you want full credit for this assignment, you're going to have to prove to me that you accounted for every penny. And to do that with a mobile app at your bank is super easy. To do it with mint.com is super easy. To do it with RightCapital and BayRock's app, super easy. But if you're going to take on the manual chore of doing that, good luck. That's on you if you decide to do it that way. You're going to show me the data. That means the spending data. Your app will track that. You'll grab it, put it in your report. Number two, you're going to show me a chart with categories, which is super easy to do. Your app will do that as well. You'll just grab a screenshot. And number three in this assignment, the spending tracker, you're going to tell me what you learned. Like, as you track your spending over the next 60 days, you're going to find where you're spending your money. Like, if it's Starbucks, if it's a nightclub, maybe it's eating out, So that's really the point of this exercise, is for you to be accountable to yourself for where your money's going. Okay, so enough said about that part of this week's assignment. That's your class collaboration responsibility, just to post what are you going to use to track your spending. So let's look at last week's comments. Last week we talked about emergency funds, so I want to just kind of highlight and maybe chat a bit about emergency funds. So Catherine, I loved your comment. You keep it in a savings account through your credit card company, and you like that better than your checking account because it accumulates interest. That's good. And you gain more money that way. And then you transfer it over to your emergency fund savings account. So that's cool. The main thing is you have an account. That's awesome. So many students tell me, no, I don't even have, I don't even have an emergency fund. Or like you'll see here, I currently have, some will say they have emergency savings, but it's like, inside one of their socks in their underwear drawer. Okay, that's like where I keep my hidden gold coins. And that's one way to do it, but I'm encouraging you to actually set up an account, and it's really a good idea to have that account at even a different institution, somewhere that's not connected to your debit card, so that it's a little bit more difficult for you to access that money for things that aren't really an emergency. So that's the whole point of an emergency fund. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're one of many students who don't even have a legitimate emergency fund, then make that commitment. Do that. Tell me you did that. That'll be a great kind of cool thing to feature as a part of, the benefit of taking this course is I did some things that will actually change my financial future, and an emergency fund is definitely one of those things. So that's the point of this last week's class collaboration, was just to get your input and hear from you. What are you doing? So that was great, Catherine. Owen Ben, you have a savings account. You do your best to transfer half of your check. Wow. Once I fix my spending habit, I would love to start saving more and start to see more in my saving. Okay, cool. Not sure exactly what to say to that one. Let's see, Fabiola. So cool. So some of these comments I grabbed were just a little bit generic. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sorry, that was a different one. So obviously I didn't do a great job of grabbing your comments and putting them into this week's summary. I'll do a better job next week. But I read, there were lots of comments inside of Money Study Group, and as I told you before, I'm not going to take those and post them in this, because this is being posted to the worldwide internet, and so the World Wide Web. But if you post it on YouTube or Facebook, then that's where I grab your comments, and I feel like I have the liberty of sharing them here, so hopefully that's cool. But one of the things that I've seen in lots and lots of comments over the years about emergency funds is A, you don't have one, and B, it's like it's an imaginary account inside of your checking account. And so again, the point is, have a fund, an account that is dedicated to your emergency fund, and it's sometimes better to do that like in a credit union account. If you have access to a credit union, that's a great place to make your emergency fund, something that's apart from and specifically for emergencies. It's not your new car fund, it's not your checking account, it's not your savings account, it's an emergency fund. It may be a savings account, but it should be this is specifically earmarked for emergencies. And so I'm encouraging you this semester to set up your emergency fund. If you don't have $500 saved, make that your goal. If you already have $500 saved, make $1,000 your goal this semester. And if you've got $1,000, think about the true purpose of an emergency fund. That's to cover 6 months of expenses. So think about, what is it going to be like for you once you graduate? What are your expenses going to be after you graduate? Because that is really the target for you and your emergency fund, is to figure out how much would you need to support yourself for 6 whole months. And that should become your goal for your emergency fund, and have that in an account that's not too easy to access. Okay, so part 1, this week's assignment, go to free credit report. This is where you're going to go. There's going to be a link, and you're just going to, there's three bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and those are the 3 that you get to choose from. It doesn't really matter. You could say, well, Equifax they got hacked. I think it was Equifax. I'm sure Experian has as well. I'm not really sure, but anyway, you get to choose one. Doesn't matter to me. Now, here's the thing, though. When you go to do that, if you don't have a Social Security number, you're not going to be able to get a credit report. So if you're if you're not a U.S. citizen, if you don't have a Social Security number, you may have trouble getting a credit report. And if that's the case, we have an alternative assignment which is posted here. But before I get to that, let me just say, for probably 85% of you, you're going to do your credit report. Some of you are going to get a response back that says, hey, you can't get it instantly, so we're going to have to just tell me that in the assignment. And this is one assignment that I will accept late if that's your response from the credit bureau. Okay, does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't make sense right now, but it will make sense if you just remember that I'm telling you that sometimes when you get your credit report, it's not instant. Most of the time it's instant. You put in the information, your Social Security number, birthdays, and boom, you get your credit report, and you have a PDF that you can download and review almost. Sometimes they say, we're going to have to mail it to you. If that's the case, no worries. You still did the assignment. You'll get full credit, but it may be the end of the semester before you turn it in. That's going to be a small number of people, so don't pretend or comment, and I'll make a note of it, and I'll come back to that assignment and grade it later. Now, if you can't do your credit report, wait a minute, and I'll tell you what you're going to do this week. But 85% of you should be able to do the credit report and get it instantly. View it. You're going to tell me what you learned, but you're also going to make a list of your creditors. This is really important for you. I want you to just create, and let me just see if I can give you, I'm having trouble, there we go. I'm having trouble with my, there we go. Okay, so this is just a student, so hopefully, there's a little information there that I don't want to share. This is just an actual assignment, and I want to show you how simple it is to do this assignment, because it's really, you're going to do the credit report, you're going to tell me a little information, and you're going to turn in something that looks like this. It's not like your normal 800 to 1,000 word assignment. So you're going to screenshot your quiz, and then you're going to tell me the summary of your credit report. And so this student just gave me a summary. They gave me a summary of their credit score as well, which isn't required, but it's pretty helpful. So this was just a great summary. So if you could do something like that, that would be awesome. And then there's a credit list. You may have more than one creditors, but that's what you're going to do. You're going to create a little spreadsheet and pop a screenshot of that list into your assignment. So that's it. So I'm just showing you the PDF that this student turned in and got full credit, got extra points because this student happened to turn it in early. So hopefully you're taking advantage of my incentive offer to turn in your assignments early by Friday at 3 p.m. and then you get extra points. Not only do you get extra points, but you have the opportunity to, as long as you turn it in by Tuesday at 10 a.m., if you miss something, make a mistake, and I give you some input and say, hey, you're missing your quiz, you can go back to your quiz, pop it into your article, and resubmit it by Tuesday at 10 a.m. and still get the extra points for turning it in early. So it's a super deal. Take advantage of it, please. So again, part 2 of review it, and then you come back and give me some comments, a summary. But you're also going to include a list of your creditors. So that's outlined in the assignment. I'm not going to read it to you here. I'll just let you look in your Blackboard assignment and see that. Part 3 is just the one PDF document like I just showed you. It's one document. So you're going to include a screenshot of the quiz. You do not need to include the PDF of your credit report. You're welcome to do that if it's easier. Sometimes, students have a lot of information on their credit report and they're not sure how to do a summary, so it's easier to take the PDF, how you do it. But I totally respect your privacy, and I don't care about your credit report. I certainly don't. I'm not going to save it, but I don't think I would want to share mine with my professor. Don't have to. I don't care. But if it's helpful, if it's easy, if you have questions you want me to look at it, I'm happy to do that. But the brief summary, that's important. Your creditor list, very important. And one PDF document. Don't send me 3 screenshots, 4 different files. I'm not going to accept that. You already know that. Only a couple of students have even done that this semester. Almost all of you, like 99.9%, one PDF with everything I've asked. You guys are doing awesome. So thank you for that. So again, take the quiz. Don't forget the quiz and money study group. Include a screenshot. That's important. Now, this is where I'm going to kind of close out today. I'm going to look and see. Okay, so those of you who are posting your comments about what you're going to use as your tracker, you're posting that here in the Zoom chat. That's awesome. But you're going to have to post it in Money Study Group as well. And then since you're not watching this on Facebook or YouTube, then I don't expect you to go back and watch it again there. But again, those class collaboration points require you to post it inside the course, not inside the Zoom meeting. But it's cool for the purpose of question that I asked you, that some of you tell me you're using your bank account app, number one most common, to track your expenses. And Kevin says, I will use Mint to track my expenses. Cool, good for you. So again, don't forget to post that in the course. Tanya asks a question, if my account is closed, do I just put 0 for the third column? Yes, absolutely. In fact, you don't even need to include it. The fact that it's on your credit report doesn't matter to me. I want to know that you know how many people you owe money to, what the balance is, and so on. So that's the purpose of that list. It's not to show accounts you've paid off. You're welcome to. It makes you feel good. That's a very important piece of your credit score puzzle, but it's not what I'm asking for in the creditor list. This is a very practical list. I want you to have it so that you know how much you owe and when it's due. And that's really the point of the creditor list, is for you. Because one of the things you're going to do in the next few weeks in the Credit Crush assignment is I'm going to show you how to use different strategies to pay off debt. That's coming. That's a very helpful assignment, and you're going to do that inside of your planning portal at BayRock. It's a very easy assignment, but I'm going to show you how to apply much smarter strategies to pay off debt more quickly. And so if you have current creditors on this list, you'll be able to use these strategies and you'll be able to see what that looks like in your financial plan. So great question, Tanya. So back to the assignment. Now, as I wrap up today, I want to just go over what you're going to do if you're one of the small percentage of students who do not have a Social Security number and you cannot do a credit report. Then you just take the second half of what I'm posting here in Blackboard and you do this assignment. Now, I want to pause here for a second. Please, for those of you who are paying attention right now, I need your help, because this will probably be a question from a lot of students who may be on Facebook right now. Not a lot of students, but there are 2 or 3, I'm pretty sure, that right now are probably doing something other than listening. 41 minutes in, and it's hard to stay focused that long. I get it. I can watch a 20-minute episode of Beat Bobby Flay, like twice, 2 times, and then I'm pretty much done. So pay attention. This is important. If you did the credit report assignment, this next part is only for students who can't do the credit report assignment. Now, I should have posted it in a separate Blackboard assignment, but that just messes up the numbers and yada, yada, yada. So it's either the credit report assignment or this assignment. And you can't do this second part, this credit report, then you need to do that. Get your credit report. That's the assignment. But if you can't get a credit report because you don't have a Social Security number, then you are required to do this right here, which is in Blackboard. So and you still have to take the quiz, but it's a video, How to Invest. Bill Ackman is a pretty cool, he's a villain to many for a lot of reasons, but anyway, he did this great video, How to Invest, and it's pretty helpful. It's a great video, so that's what you'll do. Follow these instructions, and then you will upload one PDF, and that article will be like every other article you're going to do this semester, 800 to 1,000 words, formatted, and so on. So again, if you can do the credit report, that's your assignment this week. But if you can't do the credit report, don't stress over it. Just go ahead and do the second half of this assignment, which is really not the second half. It's just a separate section, an alternative assignment for those of you who cannot do the report. So any questions about that, please post them now, and I'm going to wait a few seconds. It's 10:43 a.m. and I'm always hoping that I can keep these Zoom meetings as short as possible, but I want to make sure that I answer all of your questions and get put on anything that's helpful. So now's a good time. Mercy, you sent me a question earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Will you dock points? I think I found your question, Mercy, sorry. Will you dock points from our grade if there is not a lot of spending on it because I'm not? Great question. So no, I won't dock it, but here's the thing, Mercy. You're going to have to prove to me that you're tracking everything that you do spend. So I know that's going to be different for every single one of you, and I know there are a lot of students out there, like maybe 3 or 4, who are like my wife Connie, and she anything ever. Bless her heart. She makes my life so much easier. I spend a lot. So anyway, yeah, if you're a non-spender and you very infrequently use your debit card, you won't get deductions for that, but you will have to prove to me that you tracked your spending. Accounting studies for students. So just track your spending and you'll be good to go. You won't get deductions. Thank you. No problem. Okay, great. That was a good question too, Mercy. Thank you very much. I appreciate questions. I am going to pretty much wrap it up then. I always hate it when people do that. Scroll real fast. So let me see. There we go. That'll make a nice thumbnail for the video in YouTube. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to look for questions. I'm not seeing any questions. So going once, going twice. I'm going to post your assignment here in a few minutes in Blackboard so you can get right on it. And I'll look forward to reviewing your assignments. And again, please, remember time, if you post your assignment in Blackboard by Friday at 3 p.m., you will get extra points. And if you miss something, I'll give you a little input and give you time to turn it in by Tuesday at 10 a.m. You'll still get the extra points because you turned it in early. So I know you've got a lot going on, And I know life is challenging for many of us. We have a lot of things we're trying to manage, and I know that's true for many of you. And I'm trying to manipulate you. I'm doing everything I can to help you get the most you can possibly get out of this course, because I do believe it really matters. And so one of the things I do is I give you extra incentive to earn your A by getting your stuff done early in this course. Extra points will accumulate, and you'll be in a position at the end of the semester where you will not need to spend extra time working in this course. You can spend your time focusing on those other courses where you have final exams that are more challenging. My hope and my goal, my expectation is that the things you learn in this semester, in this course, you will take with you for the rest of your life, and they will make a changing the trajectory of your financial life. So for that reason, I will manipulate you any way I can to try to get you to do the work and learn as much as possible. That's really the goal. So thank you for cooperating with my manipulation and turning your assignments in early. I review them, and I appreciate it. I really do. And you guys are doing fantastic work. Really, you are. So thank you for that. And you bet.